Hello, everyone. It's me, Kenneth Obayuana, the global farmer. Today, I'm having a conversation with my friend Amanda Namayi, and we'll be discussing. First of all, we're going to be discussing about the recent concluded event we just had called AgriTech Connect, Nairobi edition, and as we begin to plan for what next, right? So we're going to be talking about AgriTech Connect in general. So joining me on this conversation is not that person than Amanda Namayi. So first of all, I know a lot of you might have known me, but I would like Amanda to tell us something special about yourself. First of all.
Okay. Hi everybody. My name is Amanda Namayi.
Yes, Namayi.
So there's a way my dad says it that even I cannot say it.
Yeah.
But I like how he says it. So it's Amanda Namayi. I am Kenyan. I come from Mombasa. And I'm a zero hunger advocate, so SDG 2.
Yeah.
And in the course of this conversation, we'll weave into what that means, what I do over the past couple of years. And I've known you for a few years, Ken. And I'm happy that we have come this far.
Yes.
And Karibu, Nairobi.
Yes. Amazing. I think we met last year, and then we had a conversation on hosting an event on AgriTech Connect, like bringing people together and others. And a few months down the line, we've kind of achieved that, right? First of all, how does it feel like waking up to see that this thing we've talked about some time back, we've worked hard and now we've achieved it? How does it feel?
It feels, sometimes the world would say it feels surreal, but it is real because as we spoke and wrote about, it was a journey of faith, and faith is real, it's tangible. And the conversation started just to let our viewers know where it started. So we met at the World Food Forum.
Yes.
And that was our in-person meeting.
Yes.
We had a few conversations here and there, online, virtually. We have a few mutual friends in the agriculture space. So when we met in Rome, the atrium, there was the photo booth with the background of water. I remember. And I was the moderator for the side event that I just concluded on gastronomy. And there was a lot on my mind because you have to prepare for the next event. You have to do the technical check. You have to get mic'd up. You have to at least be familiar with a few of the lines, much as there's a teleprompter, but you have to at least know the flow. It's easier, at least for me. So when you said hello, I was in between a lot of moving parts, but somehow I was tempted to say, like, could we talk a bit later? But because God orders your steps, there's a reason why we're like, okay, let's take a picture. So we took a photo, and because we couldn't speak much, you had suggested we meet later. And then because we are Africans and you like African food, we said we'll look for African food. So I will let you complete the rest of the parts.
So for me, I think when I reflect back on looking at from the journey so far, from the event so far. So first of all, I think one of the lessons I took out of it, I want to share some lessons I took out from these conversations, from this event we just had, and I also like to hear your own thoughts. I know you talked about leap of faith, but for me, one of the things that really stood out for me was, it's good to speak out by faith or you dream. I don't know how to place that now, if you call it faith, but I think for me, I will use the word faith. It's good you speak out faith. So at the time I met you, when I was talking to you, I like, let's host this event or something. I had no blueprint. Like there's not like there was money in one bank. You know, there was nothing. But we're just discussing these things based on pure faith, trusting God for it to happen. Then in March, something happened. I think I should mention. I've had that conversation with you, and somehow another thing I think I also took out was that when you have a conversation, somehow God hears us. I think when we're having those conversations in Rome, somehow God, the universe, they hear that, oh, this is the heart of these people, they have some passion to do something like this, right? And then in March, something happened. That was a friend of mine posted that, oh, who knows people in Nairobi? I'm going to Nairobi to host an event. And then I've quickly rushed down to this comment section. I think at that time you were not in Nairobi at the time.
No, I was
And
Nigeria.
you were in Nigeria
I
at
was
the
in
time.
your home
You were in
country.
Nigeria, and you were not even online that period. Like I think you said you were going to be offline that
I was
period.
fasting.
But I've gone there and I've measured your name, measured some other couple of names, and then that was shout out to PC Team anyway. PC doing amazing work. So as PC Team posted and said, I'm going to Nairobi to do this. I've kind of measured. Amada will be a good fit for this kind of thing. I've measured. I think I measured Mobi. Yeah, I think I measured. I kind of measured his name too as somebody she could work with. But of course, PC is big in the space, so there's a lot. Our comment section was flooded with different people calling names from amazing people in Kenya, right? Then I thought myself, I said, if I could call these people, and I've talked with Amada about this, why not we just host something like, let's do it. And then I think we wish you at again that match. Sent a message, and you said, yeah, let's do it. When you said let's do it, it was like a leap, something jumped inside of me. Like one person have said, okay. Before you know, we are here over the event. From just that little conversation in Water Forum, like in Rome, sorry to say. Yeah, it was the event was in Water Forum in Rome.
Yes.
From that conversation,
the conversation was in Rome.
And then leading to March.
Yeah.
And from March we started. Okay, let's have. It was in March we started official planning.
Yes.
People don't know. Some people think we've been planning the event for a long time. I mean, we started in March, and between March, April, May, June, we've had the event.
So I'd just like us to take a bit of a step back.
Yes.
For the understanding of how March came to be. So,
yes.
After the event for that day at the
Yes.
World Food Forum,
Yes.
and we agreed to meet
Yes.
in the evening
Yeah.
to look for African food.
Yes.
There's a conversation that happened there
Yeah.
that led to March.
Yes.
So that's the point where I would like
Yeah.
us to speak a little bit
Okay.
more about.
Okay.
And what exactly did we talk about?
Well, I think when in Rome, right?
Right.
We talked. First of all, we get to know ourselves a bit more. We talk
Yeah.
about ourselves more. We talk about more like the vision or the dream of what we want to do more. And then from that conversation, for me, when we were having that conversation in Rome, it was just more like at that stage, what I was thinking I was looking for was not just talk anyway. This was in my heart, more like accountability. People I wanted to build with. Yeah, that would be the best word to use. I was looking for builders. So when I came to Water From, I was looking for builders, people I could build with.
Yeah.
And of course, I've been following your work. We've been, like you said, we've had some mutual friends, So I've when I was in Rome, part of what I was identifying in Rome was identifying builders, right?
Okay.
So I was identifying who could I build with. So this is another message to young people attending events.
Yeah.
You never can tell you meet. I believe at the time you met me in Rome, you didn't think we could. And that's the first time we met. You didn't think we could ever do this. We could ever work on this project together.
So actually, as you say, and because we're also sharing lessons as we go along in this, there's a lot of, and I'm sure you've also seen this. There's a lot of flack that events receive. That it's just a talk show. It's just what. I had an X space with one of, let me say, the industry colleagues. She's called Ghanaian Farmer.
Yeah, I know Ghana Farmer.
Yes,
she's my friend.
And she's a good friend as well. And during the X space, people would ask like, okay, you go for events. It's a pathway, it's a pathway. And when you said you were at the World Food Forum to connect with builders.
Yes.
So to those who are watching here, what's your path? What's your path like? And I shared, like for me, I never even knew about some of these conferences until I was invited because of the work that I was doing back home, right? So number one, just focus on what you're doing. If you focus on events, you're losing the point. You're using the means as an end instead of it as a means to an end. So that stood out for me. I'm actually learning that even as we speak, that you were connecting to builders. So I was in essence working, and my hello was more like, okay, let me be courteous, and then I will get to speak with you when I'm more relaxed. So I like giving people time and attention because, as I said, I was in between events. I was hosting that day, and as we spoke, and you shared about the work you started in Nigeria before you went to the
in
UK.
Yeah.
And
yes, we shared this work.
there was a shared vision.
Yes.
And this shared vision was to show that young people can do something for themselves by themselves.
Yes.
And that's where the synergy happened, because a lot of the times people will be waiting for external help, funding, partners, external help. And where I connected with you, and I think you connected with me, is that we saw that we could do it ourselves.
Yes.
With whatever we have, with whatever little or whatever much,
Yes.
I think it can serve a purpose. And when March happened, and let's do this, it was a clear yes for me. Yeah.
And back to that water form, I really think young people like us, so we're not excluding ourselves out of it. I think sometimes on social media, like when you take young people, like, who are you? So young people generally like us, right?
Yeah.
When you attend events, be very strategic with your network of people. So in water form, I identify Amanda as a builder. I identify Lucy, who was a speaker at the event.
Yeah.
Right. That was the first place we met. And then you see, from just meeting with you, from connecting with you people there, we've been able to do something incredible. That is, we are not looking at, okay, what next? What are we going to do next, right? So when you attend events, be very strategic with who you meet with, who you connect with. You never can tell what kind of connections are in the room. You never can tell what kind of partnership or collaborations are in the room. So when you attend conferences like World Food Forum, be very strategic with who you meet. Be deliberate about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd like to share also some learnings for me.
Yeah.
Yes, we're still youth.
Yes.
I've been much younger as well. Some pitfalls some can avoid.
Yeah.
There's this frenzy of traveling abroad, and when you're abroad you get so excited, which is normal, which is natural, which is expected. You're in this new place, and when you get there, someone loses focus. Remember, you're doing it for yourself, number one, and number two, there are eyes on you.
Yeah.
I didn't know Ken knew about me.
Yes. Yeah. True.
Right?
Yeah.
And there are also partners in the room who are looking at you.
Yeah.
So the image you create, and there are some other young people, and I think, Kenneth, maybe you've met some of them. You go to a conference and they're quick to go sightseeing. They're quick to go shopping.
Yes. Yeah, true.
Maybe it's a sponsored event. More often than not, you've been sponsored to attend. There are sessions you're required to be there and you're not there. So some sponsors may not be strict, like on your neck.
Yeah.
But there are perceptions being formed. They will know, this person, I don't think I can work with them again. Right?
Yeah.
So even when you have these opportunities, these platforms, these events, these forums, package yourself well, with professionalism, and do everything diligently.
Yeah.
Right? So just something I just wanted to share when you mentioned about you had a mission, and when you went to Rome, you had an option of going to the Vatican.
Yes.
You had an option of at the heart. In fact, where the FAO headquarters is the old Rome, ancient Rome.
Ancient Rome. Yes.
And with focus, it's important to just focus on what you want to do, what you want to achieve. And for you, you said you were looking for builders, and you achieved that. Personally, I wanted to see how an effect can be felt back home, because yes, I do travel a lot, and what can we do to take whatever we have back home? And I'm glad we achieved that.
Let me add this one to talking about when travel. A lot of people, when they see people traveling, they say when we go for conferences, they think it's for enjoyment.
True.
So for example, now I've been in Nairobi for this AgriTech Connect event, right? My DMs have been flooded. Have you been to Safari Park? Have you been to? But for me, in my head, I'm not thinking of going to Safari Park. I'm not saying those things are bad. We're not saying, it's bad when you go for travel, don't go for, no. But for me, since I've been on ground for almost a week now, it's more like walk. It's been like walk.
Absolutely.
It's a documentary, connecting, networking, building the connections I've made here, deepening on those connections, networking, and what next, what can I do with those things, right? I love to visit those amazing places in Nairobi, but they've not been that time for me to do that, right?
Yes.
So I don't think it's really about, when you're traveling. I think when you're traveling as a young person for an event, let me just add, have a goal, have a clear goal.
Sure.
What am I going to do? What am I going to achieve?
Yes.
And then when you have those goals on what am I going to achieve, also have a goal of networking. who do I want to connect with at this event? Be deliberate about it. I mean, this at our young age or at this youthful age, this is the time where you build meaningful connections that could help you in life. So be very deliberate about, who are you going to connect with? Who are you going to network with? Who are you going to meet with? Because even in those kind of events, there are still, I'm sorry to say, useless people coming through, right? Or there are still serious people who are also building like you. So those are moments where you begin to identify and network strategically. And then if you've seen somebody is coming, for example, sometimes I'm going for an event. Let me never lie. Let's speak on World Food Forum. Before World Food Forum, I've seen that Amanda was coming, right? I've already pre-planned my mind that I was going to connect with Amanda, right? So when you go for networking events like that, so when I'm going for an event like World Food Forum, I post it on social media. People are like, oh, you are doing show off. No, it's not show off. There are other persons who are also coming. It has happened to me several times. Other meaningful young people who are also doing amazing stuff, who heard or who saw my post and said, Kenneth, I saw you are coming to World Food Forum. For example, World Food Forum. I would love to have a chat with you. I would love to have a coffee with you. Right. So for me, coming to World Food Forum, it was deliberate. I knew I was going to have some amazing time to have a conversation with Amanda. Right. So as a young person, be deliberate, be intentional, live purposefully, and in those ways how you connect, how you network with people, how you even before you leaving the house, you've planned, this person is coming, I would like to meet this person, I would like to connect with this person, this kind of conversation I would like to have with this person, I would like to build with this kind of person. Before I left for World Food Forum or for any of events, I've had those steps. I understand that our youthful age is not the time to waste. I don't have time to waste at all. So part of the way for me to make it meaningful is to build meaningful connections,
right,
that can accelerate my work,
And what you said is the reason why AgriTech Connect was started here in Africa by Africans.
Yes. For Africans.
Yes. Right? And by young Africans at that, right? To give that platform that you and I have benefited from, that you and I have capitalized on.
Yes.
And bring it to our home country and to bring it to our country people and to share some of these experiences that have shaped your career journey, that have shaped my career journey, that have opened up doors for you and I.
Yeah.
And to share these lessons that there is that opportunity. And I like what you said, be focused.
Yes.
And wherever you go, there will be, in your words, some useless people. And
of course,
they can distract you, especially as a young person. They can distract you. Stay true to the goal. There's a quote Usain Bolt shared that he trained hard for 4 years to run 9 seconds. And back to the misconceptions or the stereotypes around conferences is that, okay, one, it's a paid vacation, but there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes. I'll give you an instance. In hosting some of these events at the World Food Forum, we were there a week before. We have volumes of scripts to go through, to read. You get familiarized. You have bios to read. You have dress rehearsals. So the day starts early and ends quite late. You have to put your skin in the game. There's work involved in all of this, and the pictures look great, and there's a lot of the flashing lights, and people think it's only that like what Usain Bolt said, the 4 years of him training just to run 9 seconds is not seen, is not appreciated. People just see the 9 seconds he's broken a world record. People will see you on the stage and be like, wow. And through the conversation we had, I got to appreciate how you used to travel from one state to another on your own in a bus throughout the night for you to be able to get to your next client, right? I had a conversation with some of the friends like, why don't we see you a lot on the field? Because do you have a photographer on the field? No one sees you when you're out with the smallholder farmer getting burnt in the sun. So there is the behind the scenes, and the behind the scenes is what shapes. And I think for you, I would say for me, and I assume it's the same for you. We don't live for these events; they just came about. But because we've gained from them, that's why we opted to curate this environment for others to launch or grow or scale.
Okay. But let me add something too. A lot of people want to like, oh, they say Amada. So yesterday we had our shots. Everyone like, oh, I see Amada. Amada has gone global. You and Amada are doing some global work here and there. But they don't see the behind the scene like you talked about. I mean, I'm sitting here for the first time to hear that for what reform, you guys are on Gand, learning the script, and there's a whole lot of work. And I'm like, man, Amada did amazing work on stage. It blew everybody's mind the way she moderated a session. But nobody really seen the behind the scene that you put in. It was the effort. Actually, in life, I think what I learned from that story, that short story you said in life, well, the battles or the breakthroughs are not win in the ring, right? The fights are being won, or even before the scene, before they came to the ring and fight. They've won because there's a lot that have gone into it already. So what we are now seeing is seen as is the years of results, years of fight or train themselves. But we celebrate champions on stage, we celebrate their wins on stage, but we don't see their scars, we don't see their pains, we don't see what they've been through to become that champion on stage.
Sure.
So reality is that when we celebrate champions, when we celebrate wins, we are really not we don't put into considerations the amount of time that person have put in to get there. But let me also talk about when I use the word useless people coming to an event. I was in Spain for an event. I came with some people, young people. I gave a pass to give to some persons to attend the event, and then I gave it to 2 persons from my associations. I would want to call my association because it's my associations and they were part of my association, but it's a very global association. So some persons who have followed my work might be able to detect because I've worked in some some associations that are really global. But of course, to give a context, we are young people it was a student association. That's the highest I can say about that. And then when we came to Spain, I had that pass and I gave it to them. They flew down from Germany for that event. And then our first night together, we were together, 3 of us. There were 2 ladies and I was the only guy. And then the lady said, my aim of coming to this event was to get a boyfriend. I'm like, really? And she said, yes, that's the only reason why. She took the the pass and everything. And she asked the other boy, the other friend, what's our aim? Well, that one just smiled. They were already 2 friends. And then she were like I talked about being strategic. She was really being strategic, trying to network with guys, trying to talk with guys. She will say to us, I like that guy. I want to go and talk to him. I want to become his friend. He was like, let me use the word hustling. In Nigeria, there's a word called hustling. Like, it was like she was hustling for a boyfriend at the event, right? So that was our own mission anyway. I'm sorry if I say that mission was a bit, to me, or my kind of person, it was a bit useless. Why would you buy a flight ticket? You flew from Germany to Spain and opt for a boyfriend in an event where other people came to connect and network to see how they can either meet an investor or meet with somebody they can build with or collaborate with on a project that can make massive impact. But here you are looking for a boyfriend, right? So there are a lot of people who comes with those kind of missions. So those kind of people, I'm sorry for the word or for being a bit really hard. I feel like those kind of missions are the kind of people like saying having useless mission. So be careful, not so that they don't also target you. Yeah. When you are so strategic about yourself, when they come for you, that this is not what I'm looking for. So you go off. You're not the one I'm looking for because you're also very intentional on who you also align to your space. So when that kind of person comes to your space, you say no, I'm not your type. I'm looking for something different too. Right. So that's why it's really important to, before you leave your home, have a clear goal for what you want to achieve.
You mentioned investors.
Yes.
And the AgriTech Connect Summit.
Yes.
Was keen on bringing investors into the room.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about that?
For me,
why investors?
I've always had this advocacy, like policy is a bit, it's more of talk, we don't see actions. And I'm on the opinion that the real investors don't really come there. I mean, I'm not talking of impact investors. I'm talking of VCs, angel investors who are investing in business. I really don't see them in those kind of events. So I really wanted us to have like a difference. Like, let's make it different. Let's create an event that is totally different. That also have like a techie event, a techie vibe, sort of. So if you look at the speakers that we brought in to AgriTech Connect, there were speakers from that, these tech vibes. The venue were top notch. We were looking for a vendor so we present that tech vibe. Right. So everything has to be like plugged in together. So for me, I was looking for like that room, a room where investors and founders can be together, connect, network. So 2 days ago, after the event now, I met somebody who was saying, outside of the investors we brought into the room, there were other investors that was in the room, also scattering. So like there were investors in the room. So it was another visitor that I invited to speak that was saying that he spotted up to like 2 or 3 investors that was in the room, scattering for who to invest in, deliberately scattering for it. So that's kind of event I really wanted to create. A meaningful event that was not just about just talk and go. It was an event that was impactful, an event that people could connect and network and say, hey, I attended your event and I was able to meet with XYZ investors. So even today, I met an investor who was at AgriTech Connect, who was saying one of the persons he met at our event came to meet him, to pitch to him, and he was like, oh, he's interested in funding that person, right? Those kind of film is what I was really looking forward to create, and I'm happy I think we did something amazing. Yes,
absolutely. And we had a post-mortem, you and I, when we had the event and we were looking at some of the highlights. And when you mentioned, someone who had pitched to a potential investor, right?
Yes.
Those are some of the tangible gains from the AgriTech Connect Summit.
Yes.
I work with, youth-led startups who are doing innovations. Yes. I've curated several pitch events and competitions and all of that. What is different about AgriTech Connect for me is that these are hand-picked individuals.
Yes.
And the setting is such that the temperatures are cool.
Yes.
It can allow for more organic conversations.
Yes.
So if in a competition setting, of course, the nerves are high, there's tension, you want to present, you have your elevator pitch you need to present. But when the environment and the platform is relaxing and you get to understand what this person is doing.
Yes.
From an investor side and also from the startup side, you're able to share more intently on the kind of work you're doing on the ground. The word networking carries more gravity.
Yes.
Because in these setups, in global scale, regional scale, people are also quite busy. Remember, you're meeting speakers who have other sessions they need to run to.
Yes.
They are also having their full-time jobs, so maybe they have meetings they need to go and attend to. Even you as a starter, maybe you have another boot camp you need to attend. So the timing is quite stringent. Or even if you have the time to be with that investor, your mind is racing, right? Either your heart is pumping because you're about to go on stage and so many other things. And for AgriTech Connect is to say, we are bringing everybody here. We are going to have curated discussions, and we are going to provide an opportunity for people to actually share what they do. Another highlight that I liked within the program that you had suggested we do is to have a networking session.
Yes.
And I know in this few minutes we've discussed, we've used networking, I think, more than 100 times. But it's quite different from exchanging business cards and saying, okay, let's talk, let's schedule a call. But it was more intentional of getting to know who is next to you in this room, who is next to you that could potentially be a client, that could potentially be a business partner, or, as you said, there were investors who came into the room. Now, how did you find these investors?
Okay, good question. But before we talk about how we find investors, one spotlight I wanted to also say was that for AgriTech Connect, we wanted to see that environment where people can connect and network. So I like the fact that during the event, you particularly, you were able to add styles on how people were networking. Deliberate networking sessions were included, like deliberately having breakout sessions, like having more like a break somewhere that people kind of network among themselves and connect. I think that's what make AgriTech Connect really special. As most events, there's not really so much time to connect. It's just speakers, and we go. But in AgriTech Connect, we had a room for people to deliberately connect and network among themselves. But talking about how to get how we got those speakers, right? For me, at the first times, everything about AgriTech Connect, which I think we should speak about, it was done by faith. Imagine we picked a date, there was no venue.
Sure.
We picked a date, there was no venue. We started reaching out to speakers, we've still not had venue.
And some international speakers.
Yes.
International. Yes.
We were reaching out to speakers.
Yeah.
We've not had venue. I mean, I think that was really crazy. There were several times I was sitting there like, Kenneth, what you guys are doing now is crazy because we've not had venue. We were writing to speakers. So if any of our speakers get to listen to this, they'll find out that at first, the venue we were writing to, at the dying minute, we reached out again and say, we've changed venue. That's number one faith I think we should speak about that. We were planning an event without a venue.
Right.
And we were writing to speakers. I know a lot of people were like, it's insane. But for us, we were working based on faith, on this, like, God, you just have to sort out these venue issues. That's on you to sort out. Then this event must happen. We were writing to speakers. But then get to visit, to, I think the other part for us was investors, pulling in investors. So sometimes some of the investors was not, at the beginning, they were not pulling in.
Yes.
A lot of people were not taking us serious at the initials. Some people also felt like the kind of the investors we started reaching out to at the beginning, they felt like, what this? I don't know their thought, but I mean, they were not pulling in. Then I reached out to one of my mates at one point, and shout out to Mr. Oyenka. So I reached out to Oyenka, who was doing amazing stuff in the agricultural space. And I reached out to him and I said, look at what I'm currently working on. He first thought I was going to do it in Nigeria, and I said, no, it's not Nigeria. And they said, okay, I will contact some speakers for you, some VCs and investors for you.
Right.
So he was one that reached out to Florence, Eula, and Lucia. And then once publicity came up and people begin to see Florence, see, okay, some investors are pulling in, other investors started buying into it. So the more that investors started seeing, oh, other ones are buying into it, before you know, begin to have investors. I think the other people for us to pull was that investor, but aside of that investor, because we already have like AgriTech Connect,
Right.
AgriTech Founders Diary, reaching AgriTech Founders was a bit easier, right? Those are a bit easier for us. Then, you know, reaching the other international speakers, they were a bit easier because we've also been in the space more like a
Sure.
thought leader.
Yes.
I think the difficult part was that investors, which by His grace, we're able to crack that.
And something else also about the venue.
Yeah.
Because now we are going into the more pragmatic bit, because
Yeah.
there was the vision and the dream, and then
Yes.
now they're the steps. Because
Yes.
remember, faith without action is
Yes.
also dead.
Yes.
Remember when it came to a venue, when we're looking at, should we go to a university?
Yeah.
Because universities would be willing to host us.
Yes.
But then we're looking at the caliber of people we wanted in the room.
Yes.
And then most high-end, high-level events are in. So the kind of speakers we were looking to bring or to have in the room, the startups, it was also important that the venue could attract the attendance of these people. But then at the same moment, there was not a budget to
Yeah.
support a fancy
Yeah.
hotel and so on.
Yes.
Like what you said, when you start moving, God brings other people
Yes.
to walk with you.
Yeah.
Because in this journey, and I would like you to also speak a bit about iHub and
Yeah.
how their
Yeah.
partnership
Yes.
changed the course of AgriTech Connect.
Okay. Yes. So for that, first of all, let me speak about the budget talk about. I remember when after we formed a team that we were going to work on this, when I first released the first budget, people reached out to me. I mean, it's out of love, and said this was going to keep people's spirits. Budget was a bit low, you know. But then, even at that budget that was released, there was the fund was still not available. So we're I think for AgriTech Connect, everything was done based on faith, pure faith, right? So we are trusting God for fundings to come, and funding were not coming. People were keeping promising us, we'll send something. You know, there were a lot of promises here and there that we were open about, even at those promises. But our biggest hope for us was not the promises, was on God. God, you will deliver. So when those promises did not come true, when those people pull out and feel like, oh, one reason or the other reason why they could not fund us again, because our faith was completely hinged on Christ. It didn't really shake us. we just kept moving that, oh, it was part of the plan. God knows how to face this issue for us. And then talking about venue, we reached out to a lot of venues. We wrote to a lot of people. We spoke to a lot of people. So how did I get in touch with iHub? It was still on PCTV. So iHub because Peace has done something that massive around the tech space, right? So iHub has liked one of PCTV's posts when she was in Nairobi. So I was just disturbed that day. I said, what's happening? So I was not doing a research on where did Peace hosted our event in Nairobi. So I was studying all the places. They didn't really disclose it, but I was really looking at all the comment sections, all the people who talked about the event on social media, and somehow I spotted the event, and I think somebody snapped the order of the program. I spotted it. I think either that post or one of their posts though, I hope liked it or commented on it, and then I followed to know what was iHub. So I was reading all the companies that was in Nairobi that dropped comments or that dropped a like. I will follow all of them. I was trying to see how I can connect with all of them because I know they did something amazing. That's how I met iHub. Then when I was reading about iHub, I found out that it was now owned by CC Hub, and that just clicked. Like, I know CC Hub in Nigeria.
Yes.
So CC Hub will be CC Hub. CC Hub Nigeria will be CC Hub. It's going to be the same CC Hub again. They're going to have that same techie vibe. Still going to be same. Then I started trying to reach out to them. I write emails. Like, I'll bombard them with mails. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And then I will bombard them with mails. I will call. I will do everything till one day. Williams now respond and say, I'm so sorry we've not get back to you. I will drop message on their comment section. Check your DM. Check your mails. And then Williams says, Kenneth, so sorry, we'll be seeing your mails. We've been busy on our end. Let's have a conversation. I got Williams' number from that mail, and then we started talking.
And I like that perspective.
Yeah.
Again, we had this discussion about how amazing Nigerians are. I've been to your country quite a number of times, and it's a double-edged sword because it cuts and it can cut you. Like the aggression Nigerians have.
Yes.
You bombard them. As a Kenyan, it would be like, okay, they've not responded. Let's look for another venue. But
Well,
you went back and you kept hammering the point because it was clear in your mind that these were the partners who are going to host AgriTech Connect. And even for context, we are at their spaces right now.
Yes.
And they were more than a partner. In your words, you said they're like your second home when you're here.
iHub is like, right now, it's not like a family to me.
Yeah.
So because coming to iHub was amazing. I'm happy I work with iHub for this event. So thank God they were able to work with us. Funny enough, iHub did beyond my expectation.
Right.
Like the support, their partnership was not just for me words. Right. I remember the last conversation we had. William told me on phone, Kenneth, because we have a lot of front and back conversation in terms of, I've already concluded in my heart this event will be held in iHub, right? So we're having issues with terms of funding, in terms of payments, right? So Williams told me, I think the last conversation I had was on phone. He asked me, said, what do you want? Because at this point, the guy didn't know what to do. He's like, I really want to work with you, but what do you want at this point? I just told him what I have. And he said, okay, I'll talk with my team because they keep writing. Every Monday they were writing, I was not going to agree to it. So Williams just said, Kenneth, at this point, Williams is the community manager for iHub. He now said, Kenneth, at this point, what do you want? I told him what I have. Just tell me what you have. I told him, he said, okay, I'll talk with my team because genuinely on our end, as a community, we want to support the agri-tech space. We see what you guys are doing. We believe in what you guys are doing. And we also want to support it. We want to be part of it. I mean, really shout out to iHub. And that's why I came to iHub. We had the event. Even before the event, the money I had, I've not even deposited it. iHub opened their door and said, have event. Go and host your event. We've had an amazing event. So I think the following week, Monday, they had the event on Friday. It was on Monday next week. We came, although they had some back and end because we have to do some transfer that was not working. But shout out to them. There are some organizations that will say, until that internet work, until the plug is working, because we don't know you just flew down and said network is bad or the link is not working. Until shout out to iHub. iHub was also well organized for the event. Absolutely. I think when we were giving our highlights yesterday, you said something about iHub that even the way they were saying when we were going to, after we've closed, people were saying networking and connecting. They didn't just come in like I didn't pay attention to that, but when you mentioned that yesterday, that there are some places that will bring you mop and start mopping, and the way they start acting, treating you people, you already know that they are saying get out of this place. Yeah. But I was really well organized.
They were well organized. True, and there's a proverb in Kiswahili, we call it methali. Like someone who is chasing you will not tell you go.
Yes.
But they will behave in a manner that strongly suggests you should leave. And you spoke about family, and part of this whole family and amongst the family members who made this AgriTech Connect a success is World Food Forum.
Yes,
exactly.
Kenyan chapter.
Yes. So we started off in Rome.
Yes.
You and I.
Yeah.
But they do have an arm called Local Action.
Yes.
And you aptly mentioned the Kenya chapter.
Yes.
So, Ken, how did that materialize in this whole journey?
Well, shout out to Elizabeth on that. So when I was reaching out to people who was going to be working with us, I reached out to Elizabeth. And Elizabeth, like, there's water from Kenya. I think, send me a proposal, send me the amaze, let them partner with us on that. Let them partner with you on this project. And I did. I sent the proposal to them, and then they added them to the community, the planning community, and from there, conversation started. And before you know, they did an amazing work. Like what from Kenyan chapter, I was wowed with their brilliance, with their commitment, with the level of passion they have for the work. You know, they came very early for the event. Like the volunteers that were sent from Water Forum to work with us, they were the first people to arrive at the venue. There was a lot of pressure because of the attendants got fed up, and they were pressuring on them. You won't even know, even though they were young people, they were able to withstand this pressure. Withstand this pressure to say, manage the entire pressure, so that the people inside the hall will not find out that there's pressure outside. The place is getting too crowded already. They did a very fantastic work, and I was so excited we work with Water Forum
and also the professionalism.
Yes.
There were volunteers actually, and you remember, Ken, in the build up to the event, they were even asking, how should we dress? What colors should we get?
Yes.
And we felt like we don't even want to pressure you with how color coordinated you should be, because you're volunteering, and we don't want to make you go any extra mile. And when we landed on black or white or black and white, which is almost universally available for everybody in their closets, I believe, they showed up with excellence and they showed up with diligence.
Yes.
And as you said, but it got a bit overwhelming when some name tags hadn't arrived, when there was the influx of delegates coming in at the same time. It wasn't transferred into the room, and again, we were pleasantly overwhelmed by the turnout.
Yes.
It was a public holiday. We had not anticipated that many people. Yes. And they were quick on their feet to just add chairs into the room, and also how they were professional about it in terms of, you remember Christine, thank you as well. In terms of, even engaging with potentially the Ministry of Agriculture, and they were ready to walk that road. They were ready to walk that journey, and even online, Kazuki Kitaoka would share the materials. He was encouraging us to keep going, and I think they deserve a hearty thank you. Also in the success of AgriTech Connect.
As we begin to wrap up, I also want to give some shout out to some people who work with us. Like I like the work from Brian Kimani. Brian Kimani did amazing work with us. Salome did a very fantastic work leading the protocol and ushering team. I also want to give a highlight to Feni. Feni was always at the meeting, even though he didn't show up at the final day of the event, but Feni was on the background doing some work. Violet did. Violet. Oh, in terms of getting speakers, Violet also worked in ensuring we get some of our speakers. It did some plugging in terms of getting some speakers into the room. It was trying also to help us secure venue with University of Nairobi and all that. So shout out to those people who work with us. I mean, it was tireless. Everybody worked tirelessly.
Right.
Brian also did some fantastic work with us. Edwin did amazing work with us.
Lydia
did amazing work. Lydia was one that connected us to the
Yeah.
that bought the photographer and the
Uh-huh.
video guy. Yeah, Lydia
Great.
did amazing work.
Okay, so we started in Africa, started in
Yes.
Kenya.
Yes.
We want to ensure that this is not an event, it's not a talk show.
Yeah, yeah.
We are connecting investors to startups.
Those startups, yes.
And we are going to have another edition.
Yeah.
Because it's global. It just
Yeah.
started in Africa.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in London.
So we'll be having the next edition will be in London, hopefully by the grace of God in September. We intend to work with people like Gogo, as Gogo has indicated interest to work with us. We hope we're able to secure the partnership with Gogo and other partners we are discussing with. Till then, we hope to see you all in the room. But beyond that, we also have at the event we also launch a community, a high level, a vetted community. It's called AgriTech Exchange Forum. So that community, you have to be like an AgriTech founder or a VC or an angel investors interested in investing in AgriTech. So we are trying to see how we could create a community where we support the AgriTech ecosystem by deliberately connecting them to investors, to angel investors or VCs. So we release some forms that people could fill. Then when you fill the form, then we'll go through your forms. Then we can, if you meet the criteria to be in the community, we'll accept into the community. These are some ways we want to deliberately support the ecosystem, especially in Africa AgriTech startup space.
Yes, and we are calling out on everyone
Yes,
who is
yes.
interested in attending, in partnering,
Partnering,
in walking
yes.
this journey.
Yes.
You are welcome to the second edition of the AgriTech
AgriTech
Connect.
Connect.
So it's
Yes.
going to be in London.
London.
Yes.
Yes.
We are taking now Africa to the world,
Yes.
right? Usually we're bringing the world to
the
Africa, right?
Yeah, but this time we started from Africa.
We start from Africa
and we're
now
taking it to the global.
Africa to the world.
Yeah.
And it was such a pleasure to even have you in my home country, Ken.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, when I went to Nigeria, you were not in Nigeria. But hopefully the
Yes,
next edition
hopefully
will
when
be
you're
in
in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yes,
Yeah, we'll have
hopefully,
the
and a
next
lot of people have already been reaching out
AgriTech
to us to talk
Connect.
about when are we having AgriTech Connect Nigeria edition. Hopefully it's going to happen. Hopefully, let me not also forget, shout out to AgriTech team that also work behind the scene to make sure all these things come to reality. We appreciate you guys. We are grateful for the entire work.
And we do have a few partners we'd like to thank.
Yes.
Like Project Mocha.
Project
for the
Mocha,
coffee.
yes, for the coffee, the
live
amazing
stream.
coffee, the Eyes of Africa TV. Thank you guys for partnering with us on this project. We're really, really grateful to work with you. And I'm most excited to be working with Amanda on this project as well. Thank you very
working with
much.
Kenneth.
And I hope to keep working with you on the project as we keep moving.
Yes, and everybody who agreed to speak, we know you spent your own money
Yes,
to come.
yes,
You flew
yes,
in.
yes.
Robin Anderson
Bobby's
came
here
in all the way from Canada.
Yes, Bobby came
And-
from Canada for that
yes,
event.
and she's a mentor to both of
Yes,
us
yeah.
in our individual capacities, and she's
Yeah.
played a pivotal role in both
Yeah.
our lives and our growth.
Yeah.
Thank you to Robin. We aspire to be the Robins to other people.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure, and
Yeah.
we do hope to work with each of you as we take AgriTech Connects to the world.
Yes. Till then, we'll see you guys. Bye for now.
Bye.